We're friggin' nobodies. We're Jacob and Noah. We're friggin' nobodies. Welcome to our show. We're friggin' nobodies. We don't know much. We're friggin' nobodies. We're old and out of touch.
Good day, friggin' nobodies.
We're on?
Yep.
Okay.
We're having Brothers Pomegranate and goat. I don't know what that word is. And lime.
It's disgusting.
It's sour. I like it.
Yeah, disgusting.
My
I'm
9-year-old
sour
had
about
a
him
sip.
liking
He thought
it.
it was pretty good. Oh, God damn it. Okay. Today's episode is about not caring.
Or indifference or apathy. We tried this a minute ago, but we didn't have a microphone.
Yeah, we screwed it up. So it could be about world events, American politics. It could be about tsunamis. It could be about Sydney Sweeney's blue jeans ad. It could be about all sorts of things. Things that aren't actually affecting your personal life. Is this about right?
Well, I thought it was big events, but we didn't do a prepared statement, so we're just going to jump into it.
It could be big events. It could be big events, for sure.
Yeah.
Why do people care about these things? Now, I think the premise was that people go to work and they argue about something, whether it's politics or religion or whatever it is, and they get really deeply involved in it, and they don't want to talk to the other person anymore because they're so angry the other person has an opinion that they don't agree with.
It was something we stumbled on one of an earlier episode where I think it was a death penalty where we switched sides.
Yeah.
Both of
You'll
us
probably
realized,
never see that. It wasn't good.
Both of us realized that we're just not passionate enough about the topic to get angry or incensed or really dedicate ourselves to making a great argument.
Correct.
So we boiled it down to the notion that we don't care, which I don't think is...
It's not entirely true.
It's not entirely true. It's just...
No.
I was told to mull on it because I didn't have time to write anything, and neither did he. He's coming back from camping. But what I thought about it was I'm helpless. So one thing that bothers me is American politics and possibly the dissolution of the American empire.
You get a little upset about it sometimes.
I do, but not screaming and ranting.
You know, blah, Republicans are evil, blah, blah, blah. Democrats are a little evil, but not as bad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but
something like that.
It's not angry.
I've seen him
and
do it.
I'm not trying to convince him. I don't even sound like that. And I don't look like a duck either.
It's kind of close. I'm no Rich Little, but it's the best I can do.
You're definitely not Rich Little. But the issue that I have is I can't do anything about it anymore. I can do anything about environmental change. So if I have no ability to affect the outcome, why would I pour my heart and soul into it?
Like, if I were a Trump fan, and I'm not and never have been, but if I were, and you're not, and we were to have a debate about this, the two of us, say without cameras, or even with cameras, I don't think it really matters one way or the other.
No.
I would never get angry at him about it, because I don't really care that much. It's not that I don't care about the larger issue that is impacting all the real people. It's that I don't care necessarily that his opinion doesn't align with mine. I think.
No. It's the
that
same.
doesn't bother me that much.
It's the same issue I have in the house. My lady is very, very environmentally aware, and I've stumbled into saying, I'm not going to get into details, but just saying things she didn't agree with, and I'm not going to fight her on it. It's my house. I don't want to fight in my house, and my interest and my emotional impact about the topic is nowhere near hers. So why would I have a conflict that I don't care enough to insult the person who's closest to me? And I'm not saying that applies to a Sydney Sweeney commercial at all. Because
That is the dumbest
I don't know who's upset about this,
in
but
social media right now. Why anybody wants an ad campaign or a giant corporation to manipulate them better is beyond me. Oh, they're finally manipulating me properly by putting this hot white chick in there instead of this fat black lady they had last time. Why would you want that? You want them to be good at manipulating you? That seems insane to me.
they're already good at it.
And the people who are on the other side who are wishing they would go back to what they were doing a year or two before, why would you want them to? They're just the only thing they care about is not eugenics, is not Sydney Sweeney, is not you. The only thing they care about is making money. That's it. That is it. And
They're not interested in making quality jeans either.
So they put out whatever ad they think will get them attention and make them the most money. And if you like being manipulated by them, by all means cheer them on. Why do you care? It seems crazy to me.
I don't know. It's just, it might be the same. No, it's not the same kind of people, but it's the same. It's the same interest that people have in celebrity weddings or gossip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just it boggles my mind that people are upset about the jeans thing and that Sydney Sweeney thing.
It's just a stupid dad joke.
It's a bad dad joke.
That's all it is.
It's even bad Nazi propaganda or eugenic propaganda.
If it was meant to be that, it's doing a bad job of it.
It's just bad all around.
Yeah, there's nothing good. It's just a sexy lady wearing jeans. I don't know why anybody cares one way or the other. Just like last year when it was Lizzo doing it, or whoever, now Beyonce has one with Levi's, I think, too. Why would you care about any of this? Just go down to Value Village and get used jeans. What the hell do you care? Or buy new ones if you want. But
yeah.
Anyways, and it's the same thing with Trump or Carney or a big world event. Like a big world event could be Israel-Palestine. I know we did one on that last season. And I will care enough. Like, don't get me wrong.
Did we really?
Yeah, we did.
That's how little I care. I've forgotten about it entirely.
We did why we're not talking about Israel. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So it's a big event that I can do nothing about.
It's nothing I can do. So I could argue with Noel about it, but why would I get emotionally invested in that when neither of us are making any real decisions? The only decisions I make are like what I'm having for breakfast, which is really not that much of a decision. All I got is eggs in the office for that.
Yeah, and I mean, when you went into the liquor store, you just deliberately went out of your way to pick the grossest beer you could find. These are big decisions.
No, the grossest beer.
Yeah, you should do ads for Sweeney, man.
Okay, it's also a bad dad joke. Yeah, sure. But in any case, yeah, I don't see any reason to care about these types of things, and it extends beyond that too. So, it used to be that the news was just a short program, maybe an hour or a half hour, and eventually it became a 24-hour thing.
There would be 2 or 3 shows. There'd be morning and the dinner time, and then the late news.
You probably didn't watch all of them, but yeah, there might be. Right?
I know people who did. They weren't
right, and eventually it became 24 hours. But then it got to social media, where you're just inundated with news all the time. Here's more news, more reasons to get upset constantly, right? Mostly things you can't actually do anything about, mostly things where your opinion doesn't really matter. And people stop being friends with one another because they don't agree on this stuff. Oh, I can't talk to that guy anymore. He's a Trump fan. Oh, I can't talk to her anymore. She likes Mark Carney or whoever. Does anybody even know who he is outside of Canada? I don't know.
Probably not. They know Trudeau, though.
But I remember...
Trudeau was going to take your guns away, man.
Trudeau was pretty famous. I remember seeing an article on Facebook or someplace like that was about... Was someone talking to us through the...
No.
Oh, it was Natalia making fun of us. Okay. I saw an article on Facebook or something that was about a teacher in Australia who was teaching something about LGBTQ2A plus something or other. He was teaching, maybe it was a trans thing or something. I don't know. But this is one public school in Australia. Other side of the world, teaching like grade 8s. Why would I care about that one? Now, if my kid went there, maybe I did. Or if I lived in that region, maybe I would. But I don't. I'm not even from Australia.
For your
and
local
the comments
paper.
underneath, it was like 2.1K comments. Holy God!
Yeah, on a worldwide scale, though, that's just a tiny amount of people.
It is, but it's crazy that many people. I doubt they were all from Australia.
No.
There's articles like this from all over the world. I'm seeing them constantly, and everybody's commenting on them as if it's actually important to their lives. Now, it's not that it's not important. It could be important to someone's life somewhere.
It's absolutely important to people who it's happening to. But for me,
yeah,
and for you, and for anyone else in the world, it's very difficult to sit and say, you know what? What's happening in this country halfway across the world on a small scale in a public school should be an important lesson for us all. A, there's nothing you can do about it. And B, how could that be an important lesson for you? You can act. You can interact with it. Mm-hmm. I suppose you could over social media, but what's that going to get done?
I don't think it's going to accomplish anything.
Yeah. There's very little that I can do in this world.
It could get you in trouble or in favor with a boss or someone else you know who might see your comment.
It could.
That's about the most it's going to do.
I wouldn't, because I don't really post anything online except this. This and my company.
He doesn't even post it. That's me.
He posted. And nobody... well, there's 11 people that watch it. None of them are my company. The issue that I have that really kind of puts things in perspective is there are things that I do care about, but it's not a think globally, act locally. It's just think locally, act locally. I can control those bits of my life. And if they're important, you do the good work and you make sure it happens to the best of your ability.
Yes.
To sit and I joke about writing a letter to my MLA whenever I encounter a problem in the world. That, I'll write my MLA. They're going to hear about it.
You told me to do it recently.
I just told him to do it today.
I'm not going to do it.
It's a joke because they're not going to do anything. Why would they care about your petty problems? Why should I care about petty problems?
I'm concerned my dog can't reach the off-leash area anymore.
It's a frustrating.
They're doing construction and they put up all these fences. That's a real issue in my life.
We are not doing an episode on it.
Not Australia teaching gender fluidity to some grade 8s in one particular school district. Not what Trump's doing, which I can't even vote in their elections. Like, why would I care? The American empire is crumbling. Yeah, all empires crumble. That's what happens. And this is the sound that an empire makes when it's in its death
also
throes.
The sound that I made earlier.
It's similar. It's very similar. Yeah.
I didn't think it was fair then. Still don't think it's fair.
And so these are issues that we can discuss them, and I don't think we get mad at each other. Like, what's one we disagree on? I wouldn't say I'm pro-life. I'm very reluctantly pro-choice. And sometimes I take a pro-life stance.
He believes in God. Like, legitimately believes in God. And I
he
do
doesn't.
not.
He doesn't.
And we've fought for 20 years or 25.
Dirty heathen.
No. I'm an atheist. Heathens believe in different gods.
Yeah, you believe in the anti-God. That makes you a heathen.
No, I don't believe that God has an aunt. If I don't believe in God, they can't have an aunt.
No,
There's another bad...
Atheist is the same. To deny God is no worse than to hold up a false God.
Yeah, well, that's not true. Because heathens go to hell and atheists go to limbo,
Anyways,
I think. Your doctrine?
Well, it depends on what kind of bad things you do. I've seen your life. You better hope.
Hope's just...
In any case, it's not a thing that we're going to stop talking to each other over, and it's not a thing we're going to get upset about.
It turns out he's a pretty good guy.
And I don't think, one day I was at work, and we hired these 2 contractors to come work in our coke and coal area. I think they were setting up ducts or something.
You should say ventilation. That slower and enunciate it. And
coke and coal?
Maybe coal and coke, because Coke and Cola sounds like Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah, coking coal. It's a way of preparing coal so you can make steel out of it. Doesn't matter. They were setting up these ducts inside of the place, these 2 workers. One of them was a hardcore right-wing guy, and he loved American politics, even though we live in Canada. And he was obsessed with, Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and all these other people.
Yeah,
a bunch of them.
Alex Jones.
And the other guy was an NDP voter in Canada, which means he hated all the things the other guy believed in. These 2 guys would work together. They would joke back and forth. And they laughed and poked fun at each other nonstop. But they got along great.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any problems with that. I liked those 2 guys. I thought that's how things should go. I don't see why you get so up in arms about this stuff. If somebody doesn't agree with you on Woody Allen, or somebody doesn't agree with you about whatever.
Ozzy Osbourne. Or Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. I looked it up after Ozzy Osbourne died, and everybody was freaking out about it. Like, oh, Hulk Hogan's not getting enough attention for dying because Ozzy Osbourne stole his thunder by dying first. I don't know what the problem was. I looked it up. It was like 150,000 people a day die.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not... Oh, man, who's making noise out there? Keep talking at them for a second. I'm going to close the window for a bit.
No, it's some kid playing on your basketball.
He's playing on my basketball.
Yeah.
And it's making noise.
Jacob's going to be an old man and yell at the neighbor kid.
I'm not going to yell at him. He can play on the basketball.
Oh, he's just closing the window to make it hot in here. I'm going to have not one of those disgusting beers.
You take whatever beer you want.
Yeah, not the disgusting one.
It's your fault that you think that. So I vote that you simmer down a little bit and stop worrying so much about these things. You only have a few things in your life that you can control. What's important to me that I can control is I can take my kids out for a bike ride.
You know what else would help? Actually interacting with people.
Yeah, interact with real people.
Like, you don't have to have a fight with them, but maybe get along with them for a little bit before you have a debate.
And just ask questions.
Because...
listen.
I've had a couple people since COVID in my life become... Well, not different. They're not different people, but their opinions on the world and how it works has changed drastically.
Oh, because they got all anti-vaxxy and stuff like that?
Could be they went hard left. I'm not going to say. But
Okay, sure.
It doesn't matter. They're not, as people, different than they were before.
Mm-hmm.
So I recognize that person just operating under a different set of information. They're not bad people. They
Yeah.
haven't been bad people. And I think being online tends to, I don't know, hype up the differences, which is, we know this, but I think people need
We
to
talked
interact.
about it in our cultural divide episode a lot.
We need to interact with people a lot more.
Yes, even
Face to
people we
face.
don't agree with.
Yeah, especially people.
Because before there was an internet, you really didn't have much of a choice. You couldn't just go find your tribe. You had to accept that whoever was around was who you were talking to.
You could, but it involved
our
going to
neighbor,
a
he's a
different
good guy. We come over and play brisk and we drink some beer. He's got some crazy beliefs, man. I don't agree with that guy at all, but he's a good guy for the most part.
Yeah.
And people were fine with it. And then something happened where we started finding our tribes, and then we only liked those people in our tribes all of a sudden.
Look, we took the easy way. Like we had a discussion about the internet when it first came out, and you were excited because you could get all the information that was difficult to get in our crappy little towns.
Yeah, I could get the Northrop Frye 1980 lecture series on the Great Code. That was fantastic.
I immediately went to
Jonas
the grossest
Hallberg
things I could find on the internet and realized, oh my God,
I did a little bit of that.
all of these people get to meet someone in whoever's on the internet. There's so many who like exactly the same gross things that they do, and there's no cultural pushback. I think we're probably going to do an episode on shame.
I would like to. I like shame.
Yeah, there should be some shame in not fitting into your culture at all.
Yes.
You can push your culture, but if you're not going to fit in and take part and be there to tend it, to help it and promote it, you can nudge it in a direction, but to just outright deny it and say it's not for me, I don't want any of this, and then find someone who meets your criteria for culture exactly, no matter how weird or depraved it is, that's not great for us as a species. If you can re-tribalize the easiest possible route that you can, because I think growing as a person requires effort, change, maybe some compromise with people around you. And if you don't have to make any of those changes or compromises, you end up with messed up little tribes.
Well, definitely. And I think as well that if you really want to know what you believe and what the other person believes as best as possible, you wouldn't try to alienate them or stop talking to them or insult them or any of those things. You wouldn't even try to be rude. You would try to be as polite as possible and get from them the best version of what they have to say. Now, whoever my interlocutor happens to be when I'm discussing something and we don't agree, I want the best version of what they have to say coming back at me. So that's what I'm dealing with. I can't steel man their own argument for them. I would like them to do it as much as they possibly can. So I want to say the things that make them feel the most comfortable to be the best version of themselves they can be. I'm not interested in arguing against their defensive, Wolverine backed into a corner kind of argument. I want them to take their time and lay things out as cleanly as possible so that whatever it is that I'm interacting with is the best version of that argument that's possible.
The upshot
I'm not going to get
well,
that by being a dick.
No, the upshot of that as well is I've had a few discussions with people who came out with hard opinions, and you speak to them and ask them enough questions, and they get, a third of the way in and realize, oh, I'm not talking to people who agree with me. I'm talking to someone who's asking me to explain my position.
Yes.
And I can't.
Right.
And then there's two ways to go. You either get angry at me, which happens a lot, or now that I'm older and I'm not as much of a dick as I used to be,
Okay.
There's a back off and a concession where you get to explore that idea and you can help them with it. And then everybody learns something and you realize, hey, this is not so bad. It's someone who's working with some information who may or may not be a bad person. But if they're willing to concede, like, I didn't think it through very far. All right, let's talk about this and figure it out. That's a good person. Anyone who's willing to go, I didn't really get too far into this and I might be able to change my mind. Good person.
Well, and they may not even be able to change their mind in the moment because that doesn't happen too often.
No, that's hard to do.
So sometimes what's going on is they're trying out an idea and they're not fully committed to it. They're just testing it out. And in order to test it out, they have to commit to the argument.
Yes.
in a particular way. And they're going to commit to it, act like they fully believe it, and argue it tooth and nail. But really, they're just testing it out. And as a species, we all are doing this to find the best ideas. So,
Well, in addition to that, we're finding ourselves.
we're finding ourselves.
You only ever know yourself as reflected in society.
Sometimes you don't know if you can agree or disagree with an idea until you've tested it out for yourself.
Yes.
And to test it out doesn't mean to dismiss it out of hand and walk away. It means to engage with it, maybe,
Steel man your own argument
try
in
your
the presence of someone else.
You try your best to here's a crazy idea I have, and I'll present the idea to him. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to defend it tooth and nail and see what he has to say.
Yes.
Maybe he's got a point, maybe not. I don't know. But sometimes it's the only way to test it. So just because a person seems like they fervently believe a particular thing doesn't necessarily mean they will forever. They're doing it in that moment to just test that thing out. That's okay. Let them do it. It's not a big deal. Ask questions,
Unless they're
listen
up to
closely.
something.
And then I find when you're arguing against them, the best thing to do is to not necessarily phrase it as an argument, but to just ask a question. Maybe you can even throw them a bit of fodder yourselves. Like, maybe this is a bad idea because you could say this back to me, but what do you think about X? I'm not talking about using a Platonic method where you're just trying to win by asking questions till you trap them into a corner.
That's Socrates.
Or is it Socratic?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about using the Socratic method where you just ask questions until you back them into a corner.
It's really effective and it makes people very angry.
It's kind of a dick move. I'm talking about doing that authentically, as in you're not doing it to win. You're doing it because you genuinely want to know.
You never win with a Socratic method. What you do is you make enemies. You make people feel like a fool. Because they'll talk themselves into a corner, and then you can say,
and then you go, ha ha.
Yeah, your opinion doesn't make sense. This is your opinion. All I did was ask questions.
It looks like you don't know what justice is after all.
Yeah.
Although I think that's back to Plato again.
It is. That's the Republic.
Sorry. I'm mixing the two up. One of them refused to write, and one of them liked writing, I think.
Yeah, Plato just said everything that I do is through Socrates.
Yeah.
Because Socrates didn't write down anything. And that Socratic method got him killed, so be careful with that.
It's not, 22 minutes without a preamble.
Jeepers.
Okay, I don't know how much more there is to say, really.
Yeah.
It's not...
We don't care. That was what he said, and I kind of agree.
Yeah. It's about realizing you're going to change your opinion, they're going to change your opinion, and not committing to caring to such a degree that you're alienating those around you.
Yeah.
You can care, but don't go overboard with it. You're just one dude.
And if you're going to care...
Or dudette.
Care about
but
the
I think
things that
gender neutral.
You can change in your life that are important to you. Your friends, your family, and immediate community.
Walking the dog, hanging out with the kids. Those are things you can control.
What he said.
Yeah, things like that. All right. Cheers.
All right.
I think that's all we got to say, right?
Not so bad.
Good one?
No more sour beer.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have a couple more, but yeah.
They're disgusting.
All right. Happy trails, man.
Yeah. See you next week.